In this video, I will be explaining how to calculate intervals for Grade 3 Associated Board Music Theory exams. Even if you're not planning to sit a theory exam or you're revising for a higher level theory exam, then this is a really good video to watch, as Grade 3 is the first grade where you will be asked the name and number of an interval. For example, at grades 1 and 2, you could have been asked what this interval is. The answer being a fifth. This is the number. For grade 3 and above, you now have to state that it is a perfect fifth, perfect being the name. This video will show you how to calculate the name to accompany the number. Now, I need to assume that you are familiar with a few things before we go any further. You need to be able to calculate the number of an interval as per grades 1 and 2. If you're not sure how to do this, have a look at part 1 of these Understanding Intervals videos. You also need to be able to calculate the keys, major and minor, of up to 4 sharps and flats. Again, if you don't know how to do this, have a look at my video about the circle of fifths. That will give you a guiding hand. To start, I'm going to show you a scale of C major with intervals which you learnt at grades 1 and 2. However, I'm going to add in the word major before the 2nd, 3rd, 6th and 7th degrees of the scale, and the word perfect before the 4th, 5th and octave degrees of the scale. For grade 3, and certainly for grades 4 and 5, if you can remember this order for C major, and please remember that it's C major, this is really important, it will enable you to answer any interval questions at grades 3 and 4, and most questions at grade 5. Therefore, if I were to show you this interval, and note that it's in C major, it is now called a perfect fifth. This would be a major third, and so on. There isn't much to remember. You already know how to calculate the numbers. All you need to know is that 2, 3, 6 and 7 are major, 4, 5 and octave are perfect. If you need to, please pause this video and learn this very important series. There are several ways to calculate an interval, but I'm going to show you a method which is very good to getting to grips with intervals for the first time. You will find quicker and less messy ways to work them out once you get the hang of it, but this method, the semitone method, is a really good starting point, so do bear with me. Okay, here's an interval. There's an F at the bottom. Remember that the bottom note in grade 3 intervals will always be the tonic note of the scale. And with just one flat in the key signature, we know we are in F major. The first thing to do is to calculate the number. Always, always, always please calculate the number first. So, in F major, F is unison, G is a second, A is a third. So we already know that our interval consists of a third. Jot down this interval number. To work out the name, let's refer back to our C major list of major and perfect intervals. We've already calculated that our interval is a third, so we're going to compare it to a major third from the list of intervals we've memorised from C major. Just note that if our interval was a fourth, we'd compare it against a perfect fourth. If our interval was a fifth, we'd compare it against a perfect fifth, and so on. More of these a bit later. All we need to do is count the semitones between the notes in a major third from C major, a C to an E. We'll use the keyboard at the top of the screen to help us. Here we go. Here's the C, and it's 1 semitone to C sharp, 2 to D, 3 to D sharp, and 4 to E. Therefore, we know that 4 semitones make up a major third. Now let's compare it to our interval. Here's the F. To F sharp it is 1 semitone, to G is 2, G sharp is 3, and to A is 4. This is exactly the same number of semitones as the major third in C major. Therefore, as the semitone difference is exactly the same, we can also call our interval a major third. Let's try another example. This time there are 2 flats in the key signature, and G is at the bottom, so we know that we're in G minor. Remember, we calculate the number first, so we count up from the G. G to A is a second, G to B flat is a third, G to C is a fourth, and G to D is a fifth. Jot down this number. We're halfway there in finding the answer. We now compare our interval to a fifth in C major, a perfect fifth. We now count the semitones between that C and the G. So, here's the C. To C sharp is 1, D is 2, D sharp is 3, E is 4, F is 5, F sharp is 6, and G is 7. Therefore, we know that a distance of 7 semitones make up a perfect fifth. Let's compare it to our interval. Here's the G. To G sharp is 1 semitone, to A makes it 2, B flat is 3, B is 4, C is 5, C sharp is 6, and D is 7. Our interval has the same amount of semitones between the two notes, so we can call it a perfect interval. As we already have the number, it becomes a perfect fifth. Let's look at this example. To work this out, we would, as ever, start with a number. We would normally count up to the note of the scale, but A flat is not in F major. Therefore, we count up to the line or space that the note head occupies, which I've coloured green here. This is the note head. So F is unison, G is a second, A is a third. So jot down that number. We know that this is a third, so we compare it against the major third in C major, which we did actually earlier on in an early example, and we worked out the distance to be 4 semitones. Let's have a look at our interval. F to F sharp is 1 semitone, to G is 2, to A flat is 3. Therefore, this interval is 1 semitone smaller than a major third. Remember, we're comparing it against a major third in C major. This is the important bit. If a major interval has been made smaller by 1 semitone, it is now called a minor interval. The major interval has 4 semitones. Our interval, a third, has 3 semitones. Therefore, this is a minor third. Let's look at another example. A is at the bottom, and there are no sharps or flats in the key signature, so we know we're in A minor. Now, don't let the name of the scale minor fool you into thinking that all of the intervals will be minor. Always keep referring back to that list of intervals you learnt at C major. Okay, so here's the scale of A minor. So A to B is a second, to the C is a third, to the D is a fourth, to the E is a fifth, and to the F is a sixth. Jot that number down. Let's now have a look at a sixth, a major sixth in C major, counting the semitones. So there's the C. To C sharp is 1, to D is 2, to D sharp is 3, to E is 4, to F is 5, to F sharp is 6, to G is 7, to G sharp is 8, and to A, the sixth, is 9 semitones. So we know that 9 semitones make up a major sixth. Let's compare it to our interval. Here's the A. To A sharp is 1, to B is 2, to C is 3, C sharp is 4, D is 5, D sharp is 6, E is 7, and F is 8. Therefore, our interval is 1 semitone less than a major sixth. As we've already learnt, if a major interval is made 1 semitone smaller, then it's called minor. Therefore, our interval is called a minor sixth. So, to recap, here's how to work out intervals for grade 3. Work out the number first. Remember, at grade 3, the bottom note will always be the tonic note of the scale. Count up to the space or line which the note head sits if the note is not in the scale, and then jot down the number. Next thing to do, compare it to the same numbered interval in C major. So if you've just worked out your interval is a third, then compare it to a major third in C major. If you've counted yours to be a fifth, compare it to a perfect fifth in C major. Count up how many semitones make up the interval you're comparing it to in C major. Then count up how many semitones make up your interval. If a major interval has been made 1 semitone smaller, then it becomes minor. And finally, here's a nice top tip. At grade 3, perfect intervals will always be perfect. So if you count a fourth, a fifth, or an octave, don't even bother counting the semitones. Save yourself some time. Just jot down perfect and the number. I hope this video has been useful to you. In my next video, I'll be looking at intervals at grades 4 and 5, which are not based on the tonic of the scale. Thanks for watching.